Good evening. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, the 3rd of February, 2025. Was it wild enough for you today? Oh my gosh. What a day, all right? You know, you have to give President Trump his credit. And yes, I'm giving him credit. He said he would put on tariffs, and he did. Put them on Saturday. He took them off today. I questioned over the weekend in my reports to my customers. I said, why a Tuesday give him that much time? And I said, it's pretty evident. He is expecting that they are going to come to him with negotiations, and this can either suspend it or not suspend it. And I was right on that analysis, all right? There's a part that didn't happen the way I thought it would, but we'll see, all right? Number one, did I know the tariffs would come off? First off, no idea, all right? None at all. I just knew when tariffs go on a Saturday, why can't they go into effect Sunday night, okay? If you're giving them until Tuesday, get this, you want something to happen in that 48-hour period, and it did, all right? So 10,000 more troops from Canada on the border going north. Got that? We go up north, and then we go east to west. That's where that border's going to be, all right? It's going to have surveillance, using some intelligence, other methods for it. And the idea there is to stop the fentanyl in immigration. It is not the big problem, admittedly, that we had on the southern border. And I don't know how many illegal crossings are going there. You know, we've got about 4,000 U.S. troops, and then Ms. Scheinbaum says she will put an additional 10,000 troops on the border. Now, the interesting part is I saw Richard Fisher, who was our, if you remember, he was the vice chair of the Fed. He, whether you know it or not, is fluent in Spanish. He was raised in Mexico. I believe he's from Israel, of all things, too. And he said that you can put all the soldiers you want. The cartels will get into them and find a way around it. I don't know if he's right or wrong. That's his opinion, but he lived there. I didn't. And with the corruption the way it is, I can understand why he said what he is, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But that's still going, all right? So you had that. We're not through, because then the president went after Ukraine and said, you have rare earth minerals we need. The metals, everything you got there, we want it. He's going to get that in the end. Panama, Marco Rubio goes there. Hey, we want Panama back, basically. We don't want China involved. So let me tell you what happened after 24 hours there. U.S. ships now travel, and I'm talking our warships, free through the canal as of right now. They get preferential treatment. They move to the head of the lines. They can get right on through. The Belt and Road Initiative that Panama signed, they are pulling out of, and they are pulling out of the deals that they've just agreed to with China, according to the president of Panama. Will they live up to it? Will they do it? I don't know. I read like you do, and that's what I read. So all in all, it was a wonderful day for President Trump, with one exception. Did you hear anything at all about the trade deficits? I didn't. So he's clearly split what he wanted just now. And what he got is first a delineation of the tariffs. He's given them 30 days. What do you think he's going to do immediately? He's going after those trade. So he's going to let his staff loose. They're going to go right after this. And Europe, you're next up on the hit parade, as is China right now with their additional 10%, unless you give the president something he wants that's real. All right, what that is, don't ask me, I'm not a politician, but it's not hard to read all this. And that's what I'm saying. Is it hard to trade it? Consider it impossible. I know you've got it figured out, but you're not me. I'm not as bright as most people out there. And no, I think you stay away sometimes from these things until this happens. Now, for 30 days, what do we have? We don't have any problems with our borders. That's all being handled by the people that handle this, and we'll watch it. 30 days from now, or let's call it 25 days from now, if it's not right, you know those tariffs are coming back. But what you do know is the president is going to go after the trade. And this imbalance in trade, he's going to attack that. So just be ready. That's coming at you. Tomorrow morning at 7:55, Redbook Group comes on. Factory orders at 9. The JOLTS report, job openings, labor turnover at 9 o'clock. Remember, we had almost 8.1 million jobs in the last number being offered. API is going to come out at 3:30. We're going to get more Fed people talking. You had a slew of them today. Bostic was speaking today. I forgot who else I wrote about, but there were 2 or 3 that I wrote about today and gave everything up on it. San Francisco President Daley will speak at 1, and you know that we have finished off at least this round of all that going on. There is a lot more. I know tonight we sent a plane to Brazil, a military plane, full of, again, people we're getting rid of. Same in India. Here they come, India. We're getting them back there. So he is using these planes. They run about $5,000 a passenger. I think it would be a heck of a lot cheaper to do them on a charter plane. But who am I and what do I know? I'm not as bright as these people, all right? So we'll see what it does. So when we looked at the market, all the stock indices were lower. By the end of the day, Amazon was just sitting right where it's at. You know, Amazon's winning on one big thing, in my opinion. They've proven that you don't have to spend a fortune on NVIDIA chips to get the type of products maybe some companies need versus that. NVIDIA today, speaking about that, went down pretty good. So it was down at one point over 20% off its peak. Tesla got hit hard today, down nearly $21. AMC back under the $3 mark, as you can see. I've been pretty consistent there. Uber ended up with a bid at the end of the day. Uranium's found a home between $25 and $31, just seems to be stuck in there. Rivian has sunk back into the 12 level. It held it, but it's still a down day. GM today lost $1.56 and Ford 19 cents, and yet they know that they've got 30-day reprieve. The fear in these markets, and by the way, that was all known for the markets to buy the close to do what? Well, they didn't know on the close that there was a deal because there was an hour phone call with Trudeau that began, and by the time it ended, the market had closed. So it'll be interesting to see how they do in the morning now that they've got some freedom. I'm staying with Meta because, as you know, I was sick last week. I'm feeling obviously great again. And I might as well finish up what I started, and then we'll go to new charts. But the pattern is clearly bullish. Again, I think Meta is the big winner on this AI, and it doesn't matter to me if they go to the monster NVIDIA chips or the smaller ways. I think they will be the winning company with it. You can see that the market is sitting over all the key moving averages, the 18, the 100, and the 200. The Bollinger Band is absolutely, in my opinion at least, acting as your resistance, but you have that Gorilla Glue trade where every single day you hit that Bollinger Band and you're hanging at it one day over, one day under it on a close, doesn't matter. It's bullish and you have the embedded reading. So that tells me on breaks like you had today, that the pros will step in and start buying the market. I don't know that they did anything today. I think today was a day where many of us were paralyzed. What do we do? Are we going to hear anything? What's going to happen with this all for tonight? And I think people just sat back. I really do. And I think that at 10 in the morning when we heard that Mexico had done a deal, that got some of the traders moving. But by then, the markets were well off their lows. They were already back to the upside. Dutch Brothers even broke hard on this today. Why would they break on the news? But general market sentiment, and they came right back to their resistance, and they're still in a very bullish situation. CrowdStrike breaking down a little bit, little overbought, but still embedded. Palantir today was up, 14% at the end? Because they bet big that you don't need the NVIDIA chip, that you can do what you have to get done with the lower enterprise way of doing it versus these big, expensive ways, and their business soared. I think it went up 50% in the fourth quarter. Rivian, as you know, I've told you, I thought we're going to be challenging this support level of the 200-day average in the gray right here. The green is the 100 to the lower Bollinger Band. You're embedded until you lose that. I don't see a reason to step in and try to be a buyer. In K-Web, you had run the upper Bollinger Band, and on Friday you lost it. Why? Because now the 10% tariffs are on China. Do I know if President Trump has spoken with President Xi? As of the moment I'm recording, I do not. Do I expect they will? The president said he was. I haven't seen it on the news wires. It doesn't mean as I'm doing my evening recording, something hasn't happened, but I don't know, and that'll weigh on everything China. But remember, once we're past February and March, we're going to hear what that MPC decided to do, their party, and how they're going to deploy funds and what they're going to try to do to revive their economy. On the Toll Brothers and the home builders, interest rates, when you've got 7.05 on a regular 30-year mortgage and 7.3 on a 30-year jumbo, that hurts business, period. And that's what you've got here. Higher high, lower low, still pressure on it. And the home builders, the same thing. So got to keep your eye on all this. Everything may get a bit of a relief bounce in the morning. Remember, a big down on a Tuesday often leads to an up on a big down on a Monday often leads to a reversal on a Tuesday in stock indices. So we'll see if we get any of that. In XLF, the financial sector, you're still embedded. I think the pros want to buy it, but I'm going to repeat. Let me repeat it again to you. Many of these markets finished near their highs. You know that. You can see it. That happened after we saw that Mexico in the morning had done a deal. Now the market has to digest that Canada did their deal. And by the time Canada, that announcement came out, you were pretty much done for trading in the day in the stock market. All you did in energy is rally up to resistance at the 18, the 100, 200-day average, and down. But you're oversold. I think you'll see your short covering now against, if you hit it, the lower Bollinger Band, and the pros will say, I'm picking up my chips and I'll go do something else. Gold market, still bullish. Wasn't in love with the close. It closed near the lows of the day. But this is the market. I still have my clients in on my Spider ETF video, and they're in at a nice price. And you know, I'm excited. The trade's been real good, but I've been cutting the position down, okay, and have cut it down. And that doesn't mean I'm telling you what I've told them. They know what they should be doing. That's very clear each day. Silver, stuck between the 100-day average and the upper Bollinger Band, and the market under pressure is still the copper. I'm going to repeat. Copper's got the problem because still China's got to prove that they can pull their economy out of all this. And while we've given a reprieve on tariffs for 30 days, they can come back if Trump doesn't like what he's got. What he's done to China is the 10% tariff, and it can get worse and worse depending on how they respond to what he wants, all right? This is a man that has been let loose. And as I told you, he has a lot to prove. He knows the presidency. He knows that he's in his honeymoon period where the Democrats are already coming out. Who is he to let Musk loose and decide to see who gets paid, who doesn't get paid, and who gets fired? And he's got 19-year-old kids in there telling guys with 50 years experience they're not doing their job right. Well, I want to share this with you. That 19-year-old's probably smarter because that guy that's been there forever probably is on a government job where he shouldn't have been there. That's the thinking of why those 19-year-old kids are there. Are they doing his job? No, but I don't think they're average 19-year-olds. I want to make that clear to you. I mean, have you ever met a real genius? I had the privilege, my next door neighbor, this could not have been 8 weeks ago. The kid that he introduced me to wanted me to invest some cash there. He was the one that won the pod contest for Musk. Maybe he was 23 years old out of Switzerland, all right? And the Army gave him this massive tract of land in Colorado, and they're building these pods now that will go at these crazy speeds in the borehole and all this other stuff as this all moves around. That stuff's not dead. But when you talk to them, you're at another level. They're way beyond what you think. That's all I'm saying. These are not normal kids. These aren't the 19-year-olds you're used to running into. BND, are we going to drop down to the 18-day average or just hang right here? If you drop there, you're probably going to lose the embedded reading. So I'd be a little bit careful here. The market had everything going for it today with the tariffs and the fear. It may give up some of that very quickly. And in the dollar, look, that took off and could not make it to the upper Bollinger Band. It had everything going for it. So I wouldn't be surprised that it pulls back tomorrow. And the flip-flop in the euro had everything to make the big breakdown here. It didn't. So I think it'll go to fill the gap and maybe go up towards that 18-week average of closes. I want to remind you that one of the things that I'd like you to do is take advantage of what we have. We have 2 volumes of my guide to indicators. You know, I talk indicators to you all the time. Do you know how to work with them? Do you know what to do with them? I know some of you are too lazy to take the charting courses that we have, and they're so easy, and they will ingrain you. But this gives you an idea of what other people think, how moving averages work, the different oscillators, graphics with everything. It's all here. How do you play with market sentiment? Do you even know what it is? People use this. Dow, Elliott, Fibonacci, Gann, do you know what they are? You'll hear them all the time from market technicians. I used to teach some of this. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff that I've done. The Arun indicator is price-time relationship. It's free. On our website, free, if you go to the free offering. So all this is there. How do you get it? Go to iraepstein.com, free offers. Pretty simple. iraepstein.com, free offers, or just go to iraepstein.com, look on the left, you'll see the free offers, give it a click, or move your cursor up here. Anyway, I cut it. I'm Ira Epstein. You have yourself a great evening. I'll catch up with you all tomorrow. Take care.